In a minute. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Proceed.
Brandy, go.
Okay. So,
Brandy.
Wait, hold on.
sorry. Let's
Go,
the
go,
dogs
go.
together first.
No, let them in. Let them in there. Brandy, this one. Go.
So, how the story?
Yeah.
I know I was forgetting something at the statue. So I'd forgotten about the detail shop.
Can you talk about what that story is?
Right. So yeah, back in 2014, right? Yeah, we came out here. We talked to you for the first time. You know, you just gave us, yeah, a snapshot of your life, your experience out here in Pendleton. And I remember at the time, and we ended up publishing it for the State of Black Oregon report for the Urban League of Portland. You know, help just again share, spread Black stories. And you know, when we did that interview, I said I was forgetting something back in the statue. I remember you had a detail shop at the time.
Yeah, I was working with Charles. Yeah, he moved to Milton Freewater, and I've had some medical issues, and so I've just kind of retired.
But how long was the detail shop open for?
Oh, it was open for 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Weren't you the only detail shop in town?
Yep. My dad had a detail shop when I was a kid, so that's how I knew how to do it.
And I just imagine it's interesting being not just the only detail shop in Pendleton, but also having it Black owned.
Yeah, it was a good business. It was especially for my dad. There was 8 of us kids, and so you know they called car care, and he did it for years.
Did you get any customers that remember your dad?
Oh yeah. Mostly all the. My dad was a real sociable guy too, and mostly everybody knew him around here. Matter of fact, he lived here until, well, he moved to Portland, and then my mom moved to Portland, and they both died in Portland. He was 93, my mom was 88.
So if somebody asked you what's the state of Black Pendleton, what would you say?
The state of Black Pendleton, it's growing, but I'm not. Since I've gotten older, I don't get out and about that much. I just know a lot of the people, but it's growing. Every time I go somewhere, I see somebody black that I don't know.
Do Black people greet each other out here like they do? Do they do
Oh,
that
yeah.
nod?
Oh yeah. They, especially the ones from out of town. That, you know, they're happy to see someone black.
So another story you told us when we were doing that is that they said you only played football your senior year.
Yeah, my senior
but
year.
Then you had a run-in with the prosecutor.
Oh yeah, I got in some trouble. Marijuana was real illegal back then, and so I got in trouble for some pot, and they wanted to. That's where the guy from Las Vegas came in. He wanted me to come down there and go to school because I had good grades and I was doing good in school and playing football. But I had kind of an attitude, you know, and so I did. I mean, jail or Las Vegas. I'll go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, they said that they were gonna put you in jail, but you would come out and play football games at that.
Yeah, I went to. I go to jail. They let me out to go to school, my senior year, and then after the games and everything, I have to go back and spend the night in jail.
You said the same prosecutor was from. Just to clarify, the same prosecutor was from UNLV, though.
Yeah, from Las Vegas. Rex Bell Jr. His mom was Clara Bow. She was back in silent movies. She was the it girl. He was a very, very good man. You know, he wanted to help, and I know I gave him fits.
Don't want to follow the edge. I'm afraid of heights.
I just want to hear some stories about black cowboy life and culture. I'm sure you got some stories.
Well, I mean, you end up cowboys are really, if you're a cowboy, you're a cowboy. I mean, if you ride and do what they do, then even though they're white, they you fit in. You know, they know that you got to be tough in order to even be there, or else you wouldn't be there. 'Cause, you get flack from everywhere, and you either spend a lot of time fighting, or you just do what you do. The Mormon church is just right up the road, 4 blocks, and the high school is right over that way, about 4 blocks. So I went. This is actually the first. It used to be a law against black people owning property.
When did that change?
Huh? I don't think it has changed, but I mean, I think, but there's a few blacks that live over here. Brooks' husband, he lives down the street. I don't think that you're going to change many people's mind. I find that the white people, at least around that I've been around, are pretty inviting. You know, they want to do the best they can. They don't. Most white people haven't been around black people, so they don't know. They don't have a clue. You know, what they watch on television. You know, but other than that.
But that must be hard too, right? Because there's like a difference between
Oh yeah.
ignorance and I don't know. I guess willful ignorance. So.
Well, and they, you just I had a great mom. If it hadn't been for my mom, I'd be dead. You know, I mean, she understood that education was one of the most important things that for her. If you wanted to get along with my mom, just get good grades. Mm-hmm. And so I was a B student. I mean, and so she let a lot of stuff go for me.
Yeah.
Huh?
So that reminds me a lot of my mom. She
Oh
was
yeah, from
principal.
South.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, she's from South Carolina.
Oh.
She was a principal and administrator for decades. So I had no choice.
Yeah, and they couldn't go to school. You know, the schools were segregated, everything was segregated, and so I remember when I was a kid. Well, I think I said it here. We'd go back to Mississippi on vacation, and I was the only one that couldn't go into town with the rest of them because she was afraid that I would say something to somebody white because of my attitude. And so I had to stay at home. I could only go into town when they went into town.
So,
Yeah.
so just thinking about your like your family, and I feel like the last time we were here, I think you talked about maybe your son or your sons. Are they, or is he? I can't remember if it's one or if it's two or more.
2 boys. I got 2 boys.
Okay. Yes.
Leon
Thank you.
Yeah, Leon Jr. He just got out of the Marine Corps. He spent 32 years in the Marine Corps. And now my grandson has spent 2 years in the Marine Corps, and I have I have a granddaughter that's graduating this year. He's got 5 kids, and one turned 17 last week, and the other one's 15. So yeah, my oldest son was he went to Harvard. He was on an academic scholarship. He was gifted, but he didn't have any kids, and it's just about him and his girlfriend.
Are they connected to the cowboy kind of culture that you all?
No, Junior, Leon Jr. He was, but Jesse was more total academic. Yeah, he disappointed me in a lot of ways, but I haven't talked to him in 10 years. And I was a little too rough for him, and so he kind of stayed away.
I was curious if you have any like roundup stories in particular.
Well, Roundup. Well, every year we go to Roundup, and they have the parade. They have a parade every year that, for the last few years, I've been riding in the parade. But and this year I'm gonna do it one more time with George Fletcher. Calvin, my brother, wanted to put George Fletcher, give him the recognition, some more recognition. Have posters on each side of the ponies with George Fletcher.
The statue went up in 2014? How did the town respond to that?
The statue?
Yeah.
For the most part, it's really surprising. People they want to know, but they want to know, but they don't want to know. They want to know the good stuff. They want to know George he was a good guy. He got along with everybody. He lived out there on the res with the natives, and so the Indians, and so they look at it like he was just a great athlete.
Anything else you want to see or show or tell us about on our?
Underground? Oh, there's the underground. Have you been to the underground?
No.
It's a friend of mine, Brooke Severe. I went to school with this girl's mom, and the mom died, but the girl lives actually just right down the street, and she runs tours of the underground and with the Chinese, because they all lived underneath Pendleton. I mean, they didn't come out in the daytime.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wow. So the underground is a tour group that kind of reveals that history?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I've got a book. It's called Red, White, and Black. I don't know if you've read. Have you read that book?
You gave it to us
Oh,
last
okay.
time.
Okay.
I still
And
have
they
it.
talk about all the different things that went on during the underground. And I've just been fortunate to this Pam Severe. The Severes were saddle makers, and so I knew him. I knew their mom. Her mom died when she was quite young, but the girl, her daughter, she carries on the tradition of the underground and what goes on and what it was like, and has all the stories and memorabilia down at the downtown.
Well, do you know what went on? I mean, I know there's like not here, but near here, that Kamwa Chong Museum, because there was like that guy who was Chinese who was beloved by the community. I guess he was like a medicine man or something like that.
Here in town?
No, it was like south of here, a little bit south of here. His place is still there as he left it. But I guess there were a lot of Chinese in this area.
A lot of Chinese, yeah. But they didn't. It was what was funny was that they didn't come out in the daytime. The tour that you go on for the underground, they've got their own little city down, but it's underneath Pendleton.
Did anybody ever tell you like why they didn't come out? What were they afraid of?
Yes.
Well, they're afraid of getting lynched. There were some pretty red rednecks around here. I mean, there were some good old boys, they call them, but they filtered away. I think that there's no more rough stuff that goes on. I mean, I haven't come in contact with any of the bad stuff. Everybody wants to get to know you, and so. Well, they want to get. Most white people don't have black friends, especially here in Pendleton. I mean, and so they're just real curious about. It's like that you have three arms or something. You know, they just real curious about black people. You know, they see what the movies on TV and they see what they how they portray blacks, but the actual day-to-day living of blacks, most don't even know.
Have you seen any representations of cowboy culture in like the media, black cowboy culture specifically in the media?
Well, yeah, George was. I mean, he was an icon. He rode, did everything, and he won. He was a champion. He won the roundup, and they didn't want to give it to him. You know, they just flat took it from him. But he was the people's champion, and so that's the reason that the people cut up this hat and gave him the money, and he got more money than the guy that actually won the contest. White people gonna be white people. I mean, they just are. You can't. I mean, no matter how much. I'm not saying that to say that anything about it, but they just don't know.
So to Tierra's point, there's been like kind of like a slew of new black westerns that have come out in movies recently. Have you been able to see any of them, like The Harder They Fall?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's all pretty. I love it whenever they show blacks in movies, especially Western movies, because we were a big part of the West. I mean, when the white cowboys would come into town, the black ones would stay out with the herd. You know, they couldn't. Most towns they couldn't come into. You know, they weren't allowed to come into town. But for the most part, black people are the untold story.
So did you train horses?
I rode.
You just rode. You didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
So you
no.
didn't have to like break them or anything like
No,
that.
no. Huh? I know you did. Yeah. You know, Kathleen was the cowgirl from. I mean, she lived in Hermiston, and she grew up here though. But she's had horses. She had a six acre farm over there, and she refamiliarized me with horses because I like. As a matter of fact, that was one of the reasons why I was attracted to her, is because she had horses, and so she could ride, and we take the horses out all the time. And go riding and everything.
But you probably have like one of those. I mean, I rode for 10 years, not Western,
Yeah.
English, jumping and all that kind of stuff. So I understand, and I think horse people are a little bit a mystery to other people who don't know horses.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure you must have like, maybe you too, like a horse that you remember, a ride that you'll never forget, a fall that you can't get out of your mind, like.
Well, just when we were riding along the river over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right, and we're riding. Her aunt lives over in Hermiston also, and so we were riding along the river to her aunt's house, and there were some snakes bunch of snakes that came out from, I don't know where they came from. Anyway, that's the only time I've ever been bucked off. You know, I jumped off it. The horse got spooked and reared, and I just threw my leg over the saddle, but then he jumped up and clicked his rear end, and I went sailing into the grass, but it was no injury.
That's the only time you've ever been bucked off.
The only time I've ever been bucked, well, other than when I was riding. I've been bucked off. I've been bucked off a
I
lot.
was like, wow, you must be a natural-born horseman then.
No, I got bucked off plenty of time. But my brother Calvin was a bull rider. See, and I just didn't. That's just too dangerous. I mean, I didn't really want to get on bulls. Bulls, they come after you after they buck you off. You know, the horses, they just want you off their back.
Do you remember Calvin ever just catching a real bad one?
Yeah, Calvin. I'll tell you, Calvin's tough. I was his gate man. I opened the gate for him when he came out on the bulls, and bull riding is just completely different. You have to be concerned about after you get bucked off, the bull coming back at you, you know. And so I just never thought that was. I mean, it was dangerous enough without having the animals turn and come back at you.
What's
And
the worst fall you've ever seen?
the worst fall.
Yeah. Or worst, like, person getting bucked off, or
There,
Races.
oh yeah. Last year. Is that last year? Yeah, last year in the round they got a Indian wild horse race where they run around the arena one time and then they switch horses, and we were there last year, and the in switching of the horses, the guy just didn't slow down enough for the horse, and he just ran right into the other horses, and it was right in front of us.
was it uncommon for black people to own their own horses? Or?
Yeah. I mean, it was uncommon for black people to own their own houses. I mean, black people just didn't have. There's no opportunity. I was very fortunate. I've known some good white guys, you know, and as long as I could do what they did, then they, you know, and they wanted you to be there, you know. And so, I mean, if there was a fight in the bar and a couple of your buddies were there, you didn't have to do no fighting. They did all the fighting for you. You know, I mean, they just it was just what you say, you know, and get. I've been very fortunate in that way. I've not ever gotten hurt in a barroom brawl. There's been a few of them that are close, but I've never been really hurt.
So you just kept a drink in your hand and watched
Yep.
it all happen?
Yeah, I just watched it.
When you, like, even just like a second ago, like when you were talking about housing and, like, you know, like owning houses, like what, like, are there any thoughts you have about like yeah, like about that here, about like black people owning houses or
Well,
not owning houses, access to land or not access?
I actually, can you see across town? I owned a house across town, and it's up on the hill. It's up on a hill by the Burger King and the Forest Service. And when I got sick, everybody thought I was going to die. I mean, my ex-wife, she started giving my stuff away, and I was in the hospital for a week. 2 weeks, and then the housing, it's pretty easy to own a house, but I'd rather this place here. I mean, I'd rather rent than own myself personally. I mean, I'm the only it's quiet. I got my garage, my yard. I'm going to fence this in down here so the dogs have more room. But other than that, I got all I need.
But even if you wanted to, you couldn't buy. You said black people still can't own over here.
Well, there was a law on the books, and it was made back in the 1800s where black people couldn't own property on this side of town. But I know that law is not still in effect because Brooke McKay, the lady I was telling you about, her husband is a black man, and he owns one of these big old houses like that house right there, right down the street.